It's Mark White, and I'm back with another video. And today we want to talk about one of the key components to a consistently profitable trader: strategy. Now, trying to trade stocks, options, futures, cryptocurrency, or commodities without strategy is almost the same as going to the casino, hitting the lever on the slot machine, and hoping that you win. Now, what strategy actually allows you to do is look at the historical data that's already been printed in your chart, see how price reacted at a certain level, then make a calculated assumption where price will then move. There are many strategies that are used by traders out there, talking about trend lines, support and resistance, breakout strategies, supply and demand, ICT concepts, whatever it is. I guarantee you these strategies do work because the market moves in a certain way from a mechanical level, and there's a space for each strategy within that. Now, where 90% of traders fail is they don't look to master a strategy. They keep jumping from strategy to strategy once something doesn't work out. But the key is identifying the strategy that makes the most sense to you. So in the beginning stage, I think you should definitely try out different strategies, give it a go, see how you feel about it, see if it makes sense to you. And when you find something that actually do make sense to you, that's when you hyper focus and you hone in and you try to master that strategy. I have spent time researching and studying different strategies, and the one that I found that made the most sense to me is supply and demand. So without further ado, let's jump on over into the charts where I break down my 5 minute supply and demand strategy. Right. So one of the first things I kind of like to do is when I get on the chart is zoom out to the hourly time frame to kind of see where we are in the trend count from an hourly view. Cool. Look at the on the hourly chart here, you can see that we've kind of been in a uptrend right here, getting higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? And then we've kind of got another push past these higher highs, creating new highs here, and but the trend continues. Higher high, higher low, equal high, higher low. Then we went on to get a pivot high right here, right? So kind of like this, where you got a higher high and then an equal high or a lower high instead of breaking, right? We got the same pattern repeat itself right here. So that kind of, to me, right, tells me that this is double top where the second high is lower than the first one. This is a reversal signal right here. Cool. And if we look at what price continued to do, we started getting lower lows, lower highs, right? But the low, the most recent lows right here, and I think there are two touch points right there, right? We have a bottom right here, a look above, and then a second bottom, right? That's somewhat kind of like a double bottom, but with this lower high right here, I'm still a little bit biased towards a trend change, right? So let's zoom on down to the 15 minute. Let's zoom in, take a zoom look. Cool. So kind of like what we said with the 1 hour time frame, right? We had a double top right here. Cool. Top, overnight session, top, which is lower than the previous top. Now, I feel like we've started a downtrend. We got a double bottom here, but this look above right here did not take out the recent highs here. So this newly formed downtrend for me is still holding. Cool. So we identified the hourly. We have a double confluence on the 15 minute time frame. And let's go down to our favorite time frame, the 5 minute. All right. So On the time frame, it's already written up, but what I always want to do is identify the previous day's highs, right? This is the New York session right here, and the previous day's lows. Like I said, the white portion right here is the New York session. This purple is the overnight session. So we want to identify the previous day's range, right? The high and the low of the previous day. And then we want to identify the overnight range as well. So we have the low of the overnight range, and then we're going to get the high of the overnight range. So I'm looking to only take trades, right? Not only take trades, but the first area that I am looking to trading is inside the previous day and the overnight range if price breaks out the previous day's highs and lows. So, like I said, we're in a downtrend, right? We kind of got a double bottom right here, but the look above failed to take out the most recent high. And I must add that the look above it was extremely aggressive. I don't know what news came out at, I don't know, Army time, but I think 18 should be 5 o'clock because 15 is 3. So you have 4, 5. So 18 is 6 o'clock. All right, cool. On the 6 o'clock candle, we had a massive move, which failed to take out the previous day's high, like I said. So the downtrend still holds true. Now, in the overnight session, price continued to trend down. All right, so I'm looking for price to continue to trade down into the previous day's range or look above and we get some type of supply. If price goes down, we're going to look for some type of demand, right? And we're going to try to catch trades between supply and demand. Supply is above, demand is below. All right, let's see what the price action tells us. Okay, so market opens, price is kind of doing its thing, kind of moving sideways or it's grinding up, I'd say. All right. Okay, boom. So we got the first thing that I want to see when I come to the market, right? When I come to the market, I'm looking to see price react strongly off a key level. Now, this right here, you can see that it was visited here. It was also somewhat visited here, right? And then we had another visit here, and price continued to react to this level. Now, the volume weighted moving average is sitting right at this level. Now we have strong price movement. So, I think this right here, being that price grinded up, we can call this supply. I got this nice red candle right here where I can use to draw my supply zone. Cool. All right. So I'm going to kind of wait to see if price will come back up into this supply. And then what I'm looking to do is take a trade off my supply zone, right? And if price, like I said, comes back up into my supply zone, then we're looking to take a sell, right? So right here, as price comes up, touch my supply, I would take a sell, put my stop loss right there, and I would target the most recent low. All right, let's take a sell right there. We got a 3.41 hour trade. Let's see how well this trade plays out. Cool. So we got $31 stop loss because we want to go just outside the supply zone. That way we're not wicking up into the zone and getting taken out. All right, let's see how this trade plays out. Boom, we got a wick right there. Almost took us out, but there we go. We got a red candle. Boom, let's see how price react. Boom, boom. Now we got price action. Boom, just like that. Just like that, guys. Just like that, we got into the trade, right? We got a nice 3-hour trade executed. All right. All right. So because the strategy is called supply and demand, right? We've already found supply right here, right? Now we want to zoom out in the chart and see if we can find some demand to trade down into. Cool. Quick and easy. I look into the chart, the same candle that we talked about, that 6 o'clock candle where we had that strong price movement. Right in that area, right here, I'm looking at this green candle right here to use as demand, right? And we want to extend that zone all the way down to the previous low, right? Before that candle. Boom. So now we got supply, we got demand, and ideally what we want to be doing is trading from supply to demand or demand to supply. All right. So let's continue on with the market and see what happens if we get to demand. And without even taking that long, boom, price went down and pierced straight into our demand zone. Cool. Now, price could continue to run, right? So, which in that case, it wouldn't respect this demand zone. But as you know, price almost never just continues to run and run on forever. So let's see what happens after this. Okay, so we got some green candles coming back up through our zone. Cool. So here's my next step, right? So because we have price piercing down into our demand zone strongly, then reacting to support right here and coming back out of our demand zone, what we want to look to do is see areas where we can identify as additional supply. So the first thing that stands out to me, right, is this area right here, right? In supply and demand, this is what we call a basin structure. Now, all supply and demand zones are basin structure, but like I said before, price never just runs away. It typically form a resting place, a basin structure, where price usually comes back to revisit. So the fact that price is coming back out of my demand zone, I clearly see a basin structure right here. I'm going to say this is supply, right? Supply. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking for another sell because we got a strong demand zone. Price reacted strongly. We got a clear basin structure right here for supply. So we're looking to take a trade the moment that price comes up into this supply with my stop loss just outside the top of my supply zone, right? And my target area is right back down in my demand zone. So let's see. Let's see how price move. Okay, boom. So we got the pierce into my zone. So what I'll do right here is I take another sell, right? I got my stop loss right there. And this is a, wow, this is a 4-hour trade. So let's see. Right back down into our demand zone. Let's see what price does after this. Without taking too long, boom, perfectly executed. Another 4-hour, well, we got a 3-hour in the first one. This one's a 4-hour trade. And just like that, we'd be in the money. I only bought one contract off the micro E-mini S&P 500 futures. Um, and like I'm a beginner, so I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm just taking trades of one contract only until I can build up my account, right? But full transparency, this is not a live account. I'm not even going to act like, oh yeah, I just made $233 on the day like that. This is demo trading or paper trading on TradingView. But literally, I'm back testing the market and I found these zones. Now I took this trade, right, in the session. I took this trade and I caught this one and I just walked away. So I didn't see this one until the end of the day when I came back just to do my review. And I'm like, oh, wow, if I had just stayed for a little bit longer, could have seen this great price action where we could have caught another one. But this is paper traded. Um, I'm actually trading on Tradeovate with my live account. Um, not doing the best on the live account. That comes with a whole other side of the trading psychology that I'm still working through. But I'm in the markets tomorrow. I'm in the markets tomorrow trying to catch some trades on the live account and see what we can do. Right now, I'm below margin. I'm just waiting for the deposit that I put in to hit so I can be back in the live markets again. But I just wanted to pull that up to let you know that I'm not on here paper trading and acting like I'm some type of maverick, right? I do have a live account that I'm working on. I'm, trying to build, and I like to do my back testing and just try to perfect, or not even perfect, but optimize my supply and demand strategy. Like I said, this one is the one that makes the most sense to me, right? And that's all you got to do. So, guys, that's my 5 minute time frame supply and demand strategy. And that is the strategy that made the most sense to me when I looked at the different type of strategies. Now, I'm only 6 months in at the beginning of this journey, and I am loving it. I'm loving it. Whether I'm winning, whether I'm losing, I'm gaining knowledge. And that knowledge, I'm excited to just come on here, share with you guys. So, developing traders like myself, this is a safe space. Come on over. Let's talk. Let's have conversations. Let's discuss our journeys and what that's been like so far. Really excited to see where we can take this channel. So, like, subscribe, come again for the next video, and let's run it up together, guys. Peace.